Hello and welcome to my manga reading vlog for the month of May. I read 24 volumes this month, which is 2 more than what I read in April. So yeah, let's get into what I read this month. On the first thing I read this month was Before You Discard Me, I Shall Have My Way With You, Volume 4. This is the final volume, it completes the series. I gave this one 3.5 stars. I did like this volume more than the previous one. I wasn't keen on the previous one. It was mostly like backstory and all that, but I did enjoy this one more. I did like the ending. I was satisfied with the way it ended. So yeah, first read of the month was this one. I gave it 3.5 stars. Did I already say that? But yeah, I was satisfied with the way the series ended. It is a steamship title. It is steamy. So yeah, it was a good final volume, and overall I enjoyed the series. I would probably give it like a 7. Out the 4 volumes, it was only the third one I wasn't as keen on. I did really like volumes 1, 2, and 4, so overall, I did really enjoy the series, and I would probably give it about a 7 out of 10. But yeah, final volume. Next, on the 2nd and 3rd, it took me a couple of days to read this one. I read Pink Heart Jam Beat, Volume 1. I gave this one 4 stars. This is the sequel to Pink Heart Jam, which is a series I really enjoyed. It's a BL about college students and they're in a music club. And the silvery blonde hair guy, he's kind of bi-curious. He's wondering whether he's bisexual or not. So as an initiation of the club that everyone goes to every year, they give them money and tell them to go to the red light district and pick somewhere to go. So he picks this. It's kind of like a gay club, but the people then massage you. You don't actually have sex with them. And the guy with the black hair with the blonde highlights, he actually works there, and he's also in the same music club as him in college. And obviously they get to talking. He explains that he's questioning whether he's bi or not. He said, well, we'll try a few things out, and he kind of starts falling for him. So yeah, that's the plot of the Pink Heart Jam. There's a sequel. This continues where I can't remember how long after Pink Heart Jam this one takes place. I don't think it's that long after, but yeah, this is the follow-up to Pink Heart Jam, and I really liked it. I'm glad the author decided to continue the series because it's a very good BL. I do really like the cover as well. So yeah, looking forward to picking up volume 2. I don't know how many volumes this one has. I think it's still ongoing. But yeah, I did really enjoy the continuation. Next, I read Bride at the Barrier Master Volume 4. I read this on the 5th. I didn't read anything on the 4th. I gave this one 4 stars as well. This volume concentrated a bit more on the relationship between the sisters. Our main character, what's her name again? Hannah, has a twin sister. And obviously growing up, she had more power than her, so she was always treated better. And Hannah was kind of ignored, and her parents didn't think much of her because she didn't have any power. But when she does actually have power, she just kept it hidden because she didn't want to live a life where she would have to be using it and be busy all the time, so she'd rather just hide her power and slack off. But yeah, growing up, the sister was always treated better than her, and they were close when they were young, but they grew apart as they got older, as the treatment got worse. And this volume just kind of concentrates on the sisters and their relationship. And yeah, it was a very good volume. I'm enjoying the supernatural aspect and the yokais and stuff. And I'm interested to see how things go in the next volume, it seems like there's something possibly going on with Saku. I think his name is Saku, his brother. So, and there's also, obviously, there's this organization going around that are stealing things as well. And they need to, like, get more info on that too. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. I think this one's getting an anime. I think I heard that this one's getting an anime, so I'll be looking forward to that, because I do really enjoy this series quite a bit. Next, on the 6th, I read Medalist Volume 9. This was a very intense volume. This volume, there's a competition going on. There tends to be like volumes that focus more on competitions and volumes that focus more on training. Well, this one continues from the previous volume, where there was a competition happening, and our main character, again, I can't remember her name. Inori hadn't taken her turn yet, so she gets to take her turn in this volume. And you're like constantly on edge thinking, is she gonna podium? Is she not? Is she gonna get gold? Is she not? Yeah, it was a very intense volume, and I really enjoyed it. And the competition does end in this volume, so now we're going back into a bit more training. So we'll see how things go leading up to Inori's next competition. Obviously I'm not going to spoil which position she came in. You'll have to read it yourself to find that out. And I would recommend it, because this was a very good volume, and it's one of the only sports series I read, but I do really love it. I still haven't watched season 2 of the anime yet, because it's on Disney Plus, and I don't have an account, so I'll have to use my parents' account to watch it, and I'll get round to it at some point. Because I tend to like watching anime on my tablet, and since I only have Crunchyroll and Netflix, they're the only two things I can watch on my tablet. But with Disney Plus, I have to put it on the TV, so I haven't gotten around to watching it yet. Then again, I haven't gotten around to watching a lot of anime. I still need to watch In the Korean Moon at Dusk. I still need to watch Tamon Kun's B-side, although that has been dubbed now, so I'll probably wait for the dub to finish. And there's a few others. I really need to get around to watching more, but I just tend to watch YouTube most of the time. I just put an anime on every now and then. Anyway, next, I didn't read on the 7th because I ran out of stuff and I was waiting for Sci-Fi to come, and it was delayed for like over a week, so I had to resort to reading my backups, which are Daytime Shooting Star, which this is volume 9. I gave this one 4 stars. So yeah, I keep Daytime Shooting Star unread for when I run out of stuff to read, so I always have like a backup. I have Mars as well, but I'm concentrating on this one first. So yeah, volume 9 of Daytime Shooting Star. I enjoyed this volume. I'm glad that the focus is starting to shift away from the teacher now. I'm quite happy about that, because I wasn't keen on the teacher. But yeah, this was a good volume, and I think there's 3 left. I think there's 12. I do have them. I just will wait until I have another time where I have run out of volumes to read more. Because after this, I decided to read something else that I'd had sitting in my book cart since at least, I think, over a year. I think it had been there for over a year, because I got it in Leeds. I went to Leeds like 2 years ago. It wasn't last year, I don't think. I think it was the year before. Yeah, I think it's been sitting in there for like 2 years. So yeah, I decided to finally read it on the 10th, 11th and 12th, because it's a 3-in-1. And that was Skip Beat, volumes 4, 5 and 6. Yeah, I bought this in Leeds, and it was just sitting in my book cart unread for like 2 years. I got the first one and read it ages ago. But I just never got around to reading the second one. And I finally read it, and I gave them all 4 stars. I do really like Skippy. I enjoyed the anime, so I don't know why it took me so long to read the manga. So yeah, I finally got around to it, and I really enjoyed it. So like, I think this at this point is about halfway through the anime, because I think I read somewhere that the anime covers up to volume 12, so the first 4 omnibuses. But yeah, I finally read this volume, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I did, and now I really want to read more, so I've ordered the next one to come with my next sci-fi order, which is on the way. Hopefully won't be delayed this time. But yeah, Skippy is a classic. It follows Kyoko, and she was dating this guy called Sho when he was like a big name in music, and once he got big and moved to Tokyo, he kind of dumped her, and she got very annoyed that he was just basically using her as a stepping stone to get where he wanted to be. So she vowed revenge on him by trying to become more famous than him, so she tries to get into showbiz. It doesn't go so well at first. She ends up just like sitting outside of the building until someone finally notices her and like lets her in. But eventually they let her like audition and stuff, and she manages to get into LME, which is the company, and she's put in this department called the Love Me department, where they have to wear these pink jumpsuits, which she really hates. And she has to earn points by helping people out, and she gets stamps, and the stamps have different scores on them, and if she can get enough stamps and enough points, they'll allow her to like debut and start getting more like jobs and stuff. So yeah, and the guy on the front is Ren, and he's like one of the top actors at the company. And the two of them, he has quite a bit of animosity towards her at first, because he doesn't like the reasons that she's getting into show business for revenge rather than because she has a passion for it. But yeah, I really enjoyed Skippy. I should have read it a lot sooner. But yeah, it's still the content from the anime, so I still know the story up until that point. Well, the anime kind of just ended in a weird place, so I'm looking forward to getting to the content past the anime. But yeah, I really enjoyed this volume. It contains like some very good parts. I'm looking forward to reading the next one when it arrives. Hopefully it won't take me another 2 years. Anyway, after that was the 10th, 11th, and 12th. On the 13th, my sci-fi had turned up. Or was it on the 12th? It either turned up on the 12th or the 13th. But anyway, it arrived, and the first thing I read out of that order was The Strange House, volumes 4 and 5. I read these both. That's not going to work. I'm just going to have to put them right there. I read these both on the same day. I read them both on the 13th. I gave them both 4 stars. And these 2 volumes end the first storyline. Like, the storyline that's been going on from the beginning with the floor plan and investigating the floor plan and the house that's possibly made with murder in mind. Yeah, that storyline ends in volume 5, and I was like, I didn't realise that there was going to be another storyline, because volume 5 got to an end and it was like, and it said this. Where was it? Coming soon, The Strange House, 11 floor plans, the manga version makes its debut. It's a completely different storyline. So I was like, I didn't realise that, because I know it's based off a novel. And I had to go on Amazon and look it up. And that's how I found out that there was actually a sequel novel called Strange Buildings, which is the same guy from Strange House, but a completely different storyline. And that's what the 11 4-Plans arc is going to be based off, obviously. So yeah, if you're interested in the first storyline, it ends in Volume 5, so you could, like, it's kind of a good stopping point before getting into the second storyline, because this volume completely wraps up everything with the first storyline. It's done. I really liked the conclusion. I thought it was good. I enjoyed how things went and getting to figure everything out. And yeah, I really enjoyed this manga. I hope I enjoy the next arc just as much. I'm also interested in trying to check out the novels. I know they are translated because they're on Amazon. And also still haven't been able to find the film. I've been looking. If anyone knows where I can watch the film, would you please tell me, because that'll be much appreciated. It's called The Floor Plan. It's not called Strange House. I know it's not meant to be great, but I still want to give it a watch. Next, on the 14th, I read 100 Ghost Stories Volume 3. I get this on Vina Hostels. I continue to enjoy the short stories included in this horror. It's kind of has an overarching plot with the boy who's telling the stories too, and that's just getting stranger. I'm like, what is actually going on with this boy? Because reading the first 2 volumes and seeing the snippets of his life, I thought that possibly he was in some sort of situation where he was either being abused or neglected. That's how it came across. But after reading this third one, I think there might be more to it. I don't think the boy is what he seems. That's what's coming across in this third one. And also, the horse? What's with the horse? I don't know. I guess I'll have to continue reading to find out. But yeah, the short ghost stories are also enjoyable. If you like horror, I would recommend you check it out. It's quite interesting. Although I am enjoying the stories, I'm more interested right now in the overarching plot with the boy and figuring out what's going on there, because it's quite mysterious. Anyway, next, on the 15th and then the 16th, I read Adored by an Elite Officer 2 and 3. I'm just going to put them like this. Well, like that. This is another steamship title that follows a woman. She was childhood friends with the officer guy, but she's in a relationship, and she's in a toxic relationship that she's recently gotten out of. And the guy who she grew up with, the elite officer, I think he's in the Navy. He proposes to her out of nowhere, and she accepts until they get married, and yeah, it just follows them after marriage, and he's liked her since they were kids, which is obviously why he proposed, but she's unsure of her feelings. I have no idea how she's unsure of her feelings, because it's pretty obvious to anyone else that she likes him. But yeah, they're doing it constantly. It's a steamship, and she's like, but do I actually love him? And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty obvious that you do. Yeah. You make it pretty obvious that you do. You're the only one who can't see it. But yeah, it was a bit annoying in that aspect, with her constantly questioning whether she likes it or not, when she obviously did. But yeah, other than that, it's an enjoyable steamship. The steamy bits are good. Yeah, 4.5 stars. I'll probably, again, probably give it a 7 out of 10 for the whole series. I enjoy reading steamship, but they don't always have the best storylines, which you kind of expect it. Some of them do. Some of the fantasy ones have a bit more of a story. But yeah, I still enjoy reading them. And yeah, the spicy scenes in that one are really good. Then on the 17th and the 18th, I read Love That's an Understatement 2 and 3. Again, I'll just put them like this. This is probably what delayed my sci-fi so much, because it's a print club title and maybe they had trouble getting a hold of it. I have not ordered any more print club titles as of right now, and if I do, I think I'll do them in a separate order, because if it is the print club that's delaying, I can just wait for those and have everything else not be delayed. But anyway, I gave Volume 2 3.5 stars, and I gave Volume 3 4 stars. This is a delinquent romance by the author of Love, Kelly. I have been really enjoying it. It's a girl who helps a delinquent who's been injured. She gives him some medical supplies and an umbrella. And then he kind of starts liking her and wanting to pay her back and become friends. And yeah, it's cute. I enjoy it. And yeah, out of the two, I do think Love, Kelly is better. I did enjoy Love, Kelly more. But I do really like this one. As I said, I enjoyed Volume 3 slightly more than Volume 2. So I think I'd probably start enjoying it more going forward as well. But yeah, it is a good series. It's cute. Especially if you like delinquent stuff. It's cute. And she's trying to help him with his studies. And as long as she's also trying to help his friends with their studies. So yeah, it's cute. I enjoy it. It's a good read, but I think Love, Kelly is slightly better out of the two series. I just loved Love, Kelly so much. It's like, I just think it's brilliant. So it will be hard to top it, basically. Next, on the 19th, I read Opposites Attract, Volume 3, and I get this 4 stars. This one is super cute. Dog romance. Well, the romance isn't between the dogs, it's between the owners. But yeah, the Rottweiler, I just love the Rottweiler, he's so cute. The little Pom is cute too, but I'm a fan of big dogs. I have 3 big dogs. So I absolutely adore the Rottweiler. I think he's really cute. There's also a Shiba Inu who came in the previous volume, and this volume introduces a pug. Is it a pug or is it a bulldog? No, it's a pug. She's on the back right there. But yeah, the owners are getting to know each other through their dogs, and they go to an onsen together, with like a dog-friendly onsen. And yeah, that's where they meet the pug. Yeah, it's just cute, wholesome dog goodness with some romance. And yeah, I'm gonna read any dog manga they bring out in English. We need more dog manga. We have an abundance of cat manga. We need more dog manga. Yeah, this one's adorable. I actually mentioned the eyes. I mentioned in a previous video that you can barely see the Rottweiler's eyes, and they actually... He's so cute. Mentioned in this one that because he's black, you can't always see his eyes. So they actually addressed that. But yeah, I think there's going to be a secondary couple as well. And yeah, the Shiba Inu's an old man, and he's just adorable. You got the backstory of the girl and the Shiba Inu. Yeah, just so cute. But the Rottweiler will always be my favourite. Next, on the 20th, I read Outright 8. I gave this 2.5 stars, as expected. I was not a fan of this volume, because I do not like Alfred. He's my least favourite out of all the guys. I'm not a fan of him. So yeah, this volume concentrated on him. The others were very in this one. It was mainly just her and him. Yeah, we've had volumes dedicated to the dragon god and the Oni, and I enjoyed those because I do actually like those characters. But my favourite character is the dog guy, and he's the only one who hasn't really had a part dedicated to him yet, so I'm hoping that's coming next. Now that we got Alfred out the way, I hope we enjoy the next one more, especially if it focuses on the dog guy. He's my favourite. But yeah, overall, it's quite a trashy series. Most of the time I do enjoy it, though, when it's not focused on Alfred. But yeah, I knew I wasn't going to be a fan of this volume because I knew it was going to be Alfred focused, but I knew I had to get through it in order to get back to the stuff about the other characters, which I do really enjoy. Yeah, so this volume, it's just a blip, and an overall I enjoy it. This one's just a blip of unfortunate Alfred content. But yeah, some people probably really like him, but he's not for me. I don't like his character type. I didn't read anything on the 21st because I was in Hull at the aquarium. I also picked up a couple of volumes in a random shop there. They do have they do have a Forbidden Planet in Hull. I didn't pick up any manga there. I did get a few blind boxes, but they didn't really have anything I wanted in the Forbidden Planet. But we did find this other shop. I can't remember what it was called, but it was more like a board game and like trading card sort of shop. But they did have like a small manga section in the corner. And in that manga section I found volume 6 of My Love Story Yamada at level 999, which I read on the 22nd. I gave it 4 stars. I also picked up another volume in that shop, which I read this month, so it won't be in this reading log. But it will be in my haul when my sci-fi will allow, so I will include it in that. But yeah, I only picked up the 2 volumes. This was one of them. It was actually quite funny because I picked the volume off the shelf. It was the only volume they had, and I was like, I can't remember whether it's volume 5 or volume 6 that I need. And I don't have my notebook with me telling me which volume it is that I need. So I had to ring my sister while crouched down on the floor of this random shop, being like, can you go have a look at my shelves and tell me what volume of Yamada that I need? And she couldn't find it. So she was searching my shelves while I was crouched on the floor of the corner of the shop. It took about 15 minutes before she actually managed to find it, and I was trying to guide her to where I remembered it was, but forgetting that I'd moved it because I rearranged everything when I moved the BL, so yeah. It was quite interesting time. But yeah, it was 6 that I needed. So yeah, picked up 6, and yeah, it's past. The previous volume was also past the point where the anime ended, but this one was very cute. I'm really enjoying Yamada and Akane being in a relationship. It was some super cute moments, and we completed the storyline from the previous volume, and we're moving on to another one now. So yeah, that storyline was done. It started out another one, and it ended on a cliffhanger. So I need the next one. I don't think the next one's out yet, but it was quite a cliffhanger that this volume ended on. I'm like, you're going to end there. So yeah, now I have to wait for the next one. But I love the series. It's great. And I'm hoping maybe someday we'll get a season 2 of the anime, because I do think the anime did quite well, so I could see it getting a season 2. So hopefully someday. But yeah. Next. I didn't read anything on the 23rd or 24th because I didn't have anything else with me to read. I just had Yamada and that other volume that I bought. But that other volume I bought was a BL, and I wanted to save that for this month for the Pride Readathon, so I didn't want to read that one because I wanted to save it. So I just had Yamada with me to read, so I didn't read anything on the 23rd and 24th. And then on the 25th and the 26th, I read my special one, 10 and 11. This completes the series. I'm going to talk about volume 10 first, so I'll put that in front. I gave Volume 10 3 stars, Volume 4, Volume 11 3.5 stars. The reason I gave Volume 10 less is because this volume, there was 4 chapters. The first one was like a Cinderella sort of retelling, which turned out to be a dream that Momoko was having. Is her name Momoko? I think it's Momoko. Which, it was a main story chapter. All the chapters are main story chapters. They're not side stories, they're chapters 37 to 40. But chapters 37 and 40 felt like side stories. They felt like they should have been side stories, but they were main story chapters, which means they were basically canon. I didn't mind so much with the Cinderella story one. I quite like that one, and it turned out to be a dream, so it fits in more with the main story that way. Then 38 was a backstory focusing on Kanato, and then 39 was a backstory focusing on Momoko. Those chapters were fine. I quite enjoyed those chapters. But then chapter 40 was another side story where Momoko went to the world of another manga written by the same author as my special one. It's not a manga we have in English. It's not a manga I've read. I had no idea who the characters were. But yeah, she's suddenly transported into this other manga, and she has to find a way to get back to her own manga. And that was a main story chapter. It was considered canon. It felt like a side story. And because I didn't know the manga that she's gone into, or any of the characters, I didn't really enjoy that chapter. It just felt kind of stupid, especially with it being a main story chapter and not a side story. But I tried to find out what the name of the chapter was. That it's from a series called From My Teacher, My Love. Because Your Emika from my special one, or Your Ayuha from My Teacher, My Love. So I've never read My Teacher, My Love. I don't think we even have it in English. So I didn't recognise the characters or anything. Plus, by the looks of it, it seems to take place after that series has ended. So, spoilers, I guess. Not that I plan on reading that series anyway. We don't have it in English, and it doesn't look like I would be the sort of series I'd want to read even if it was in English. So yeah, that chapter just felt kind of stupid, and I would have been more okay with it if it was a side story and not as a main story chapter. It just felt like it felt totally random, and it was also breaking the fourth wall a lot, and like, this is supposed to be a main story chapter. But whatever. Volume 11 was better. I'm just going to put it like that. Volume 11 finishes the series. The first 2 chapters focus on these two, then the last 2 chapters focus on these 2. I preferred the first 2 chapters because I prefer Momoko and Kanato as a couple over Kota and Sahoko, whatever her name is. I like their story more, which is why I did enjoy the second half as my special one more than the first half. I did like the first half. I didn't mind them two as a couple. I just preferred the second couple a lot more. So I preferred the second half, which is why I was also disappointed in Volume 10, because these couples get 5.5 volumes each of content focusing on them, and one of the half of Volume 10 kind of felt wasted because of the silly side story like chapters. So half of a volume focusing on my preferred couple felt wasted. So it annoyed me a little bit. But anyway, I did enjoy Volume 11 and getting to see the conclusion, and as I said, I enjoyed Kanato and Momoka's part a lot more. But overall, I'll probably give the series maybe 7, 6. I would give the first half of the series that focuses on Kota and... what is her name? Sahoko. I would give the first half of the series a 6. I would give the second half of the series that focuses on Kanato and Emika. Have I been saying her name wrong this whole time? Because I don't think I was calling her Emika. What was I even calling her? I don't know, but I don't think that was her name, unless that was her last name. I would give the part focusing on them a 7. So yeah. Next. I didn't read anything on the 27th. I don't remember why. It might have been something to do with the Cyrus card coming out. Was that the cat one? Was that when the cat one came out? It might have been, because that one ended recently. It was probably because I was reading that. Anyway, on the 28th, I read Glasses with a Chance of Delinquent 3. I gave this... what the hell did I give this? I can't make out my own star rating. I think that's 3.5. Yeah, that's 3.5. I couldn't really make that out there. But yeah, I gave this 3.5 stars. This is another delinquent romance with this like, he's an ex-delinquent, but he's basically still a delinquent. He still acts like one anyway. But he's trying to become more studious and less of a delinquent, but this doesn't always... he's not always achieving that. But yeah, it's a cute series again. This one had a character that he used to go to, I think it was middle school with, transfer into his high school, and it focused a lot on him and like trying to integrate him into the class. So yeah, it's a cute series. I enjoy it. I wouldn't say it's anything spectacular or groundbreaking, but it is cute and I do enjoy it. So yeah, it's just a cute ex-delinquent romance. Oh, don't fall on the floor. Next, I read My Name is Shingo, Volume 6. I gave this 2.5 stars. I read this on the 29th. I mentioned last time that Volume 5 was very weird, and it got very strange, and there was things going on that I don't know why they were included, or what purpose they had in the story, or why they were happening. This volume had a lot more of that. So we had Shingo the robot. At least there was a lot more. At least he was kind of in this volume more. Still never found out what was up with the motorcycle gang. I don't think that was ever explained. Anyway, this volume, the focus is back on Shingo, and yeah. But there was things happening in this volume, and I was like, why? What does this have to do with the main story of this manga? What does this have to do with anything? This just feels so random and out of place. Why are you suddenly going to this island with these two other people who are pretending to be children but actually aren't children? And what the events on the island were never explained either. Like, what was going on there? What was happening? It just sort of ended. The ending wasn't great either. I mean, the ending was left quite open, which I don't mind. That it was open. It was just strange. Very strange. And these two kids. Every single cover has these two kids on them, and every single chapter header. Like the page that's... well, apart from in this volume. In volumes 1 to 5, the beginning of the chapters would always have pictures with these two kids. And these two kids would always be on the front of every single volume. But these two kids never appear in the story. I have no idea who they are and why they're on the covers. And why they're at the beginning of on the chapter images. They never appear. Are they meant to be like the, what's his name? Satoru. Are they meant to be Satoru and... Oops. Are they meant to be Satoru and Manon? Because they look completely different. They don't look like Satoru and Manon, unless maybe they were early designs of what they were originally going to look like. And plus, the pictures themselves and the things happening in the pictures have nothing to do with the main story either. So yeah, there was just parts of it that felt like, why is this happening? What's the point of it? What does it have to do with the robot? There was random characters that just came out of nowhere, and I'm like, why? And I said the stuff on the island, I have no idea what the point of it was. The stuff with the biker gang in the previous volume, like, that was never explained. And things went weird in the previous volume, and it got back to normal in this one, but yeah, it was strange. It was weird. I don't know if it was supposed to be weird, because it started out fine. Like, the first, 2, even 3 volumes were fine. And then it just got very strange. So yeah, I don't think this series was for me. I enjoyed it at first, when it made sense. But then it stopped making sense, and I was like, what the hell is going on? So yeah, I don't think, now that I've finished the series, that I'm going to be keeping it. Maybe there was some sort of symbolism that I just didn't get, or that went right over my head, that was kind of explained what was happening, or maybe I just didn't, was there some sort of hidden message that the author was trying to tell that I just didn't get, or was it meant to just be very weird? I would never know. I looked up some reviews on Goodreads, and some people really liked it, and then there's some people like me who were just really confused. So maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so to something that I really enjoyed next. Drawing from Your Memory, Volume 1. I read this on the 30th, I gave it 4 stars. This was great. I really liked it. It follows a manga author who has recently made her debut. She's recently hit it big. She was writing this series and it got very popular. It got an anime, it got dramas, it got CDs, it got everything. It was like a really big smash hit manga. And it recently ended, and she's being told to write something new, but she can't do it because that manga, the ideas for it, the concepts, the characters, none of it was hers. When she was in high school, she was in a manga club with a guy who was her senpai. I think he was in the year above her. And he wanted to be a manga author. He was writing manga. He was submitting to magazines. He actually got a one-shot accepted into a magazine. But this guy had a bad heart. He was born with a bad heart. And he died before he could make his professional debut. But he left this notebook behind with all his ideas in it. And all his character designs and all that. And he told his sister to give it to her. So she took the notebook, and she thought, as a way to honour him, she would make his ideas into a series. But obviously she got all the credit for it. He got nothing because nobody knew that the ideas originally came from him, which made her feel very guilty. And now she can't bring herself to write another story because obviously she never thought of the ideas for the first one. And she would really love to be able to give that story back to him, to have him be the one to publish it, but obviously that's not possible because he's dead. But then, while thinking all this, she somehow ends up transported 10 years in the past back to when she was in high school in that manga club, and now she has a chance to redo things and give the story back to him and to help him publish it, get it published under his own name rather than hers. And it was really good. I really enjoyed this first volume. I think it's only 5 volumes in total, so it's not a long series, but I am looking forward to seeing where things go next. It was very interesting. I think there's some things, some things happening. So I don't know 100% whether the series is going to have a happy ending or whether it's going to be like bittersweet or melancholic. It seems like a series that might have a bittersweet ending because the guy has heart disease. So it's not like she could save him. It's not like he died from something which she could prevent. His family have known since he was a kid that his heart will one day give out. So it's not like she can save his life, basically. So I can't really see it having like 100% happy ending. I reckon the ending probably will be quite bittersweet. And I'm looking forward to seeing how things go. Maybe I'll be wrong. And last up, on the 31st, I read Fire in His Fingertips 9, which I gave 3 stars. This is another volume of Fire in His Fingertips. They went hiking in the mountains, and they had some sex, and now they're, yeah. I still like this series. I wouldn't continue reading it if I didn't, but yeah, it's getting to the point where it's a bit long for a steamship title. A fantasy steamship title which has more of a story could easily go on for this length of time, but at this point, yeah, it's getting a bit long for a steamship title, but it did end in volume 12, so there's only 3 left. So it is ending soon, so I do want to finish it. Like, there is some plot there in between the shags, and I do want to see it concluded, so yeah. I'd have no plans to drop this series. I do still like reading it. It's just a little bit long. And that was it. That's everything I read in May. It is now June. It's Pride Month. I'm participating in Bizarre Individuals Pride Readathon like I do. I think this is like the 5th year that I've participated in it. So a lot of my reads this month are going to probably be BL. I've already, obviously, all I've read so far this month has been BL. You might be able to see Little Mushroom over the other side of the desk there. That's what I'm currently reading. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you for my haul when it arrives. And bye bye.